Today we shall look at another lesser known pearl in Ignatian spirituality, which is the preparatory prayer. Saint Ignatius in the spiritual exercises presents a well-structured meditation. There is a definite structure of every meditation or contemplation starting from week 1 onwards. And what does this structure contain? Every meditation or contemplation begins with the preparatory prayer. Number 2, it has 2 or more preludes. The first prelude about the composition of place. The second prelude often is about the grace I seek, what I desire. The third part of the structure is 3 or more points, the content, main content for contemplation or meditation. And number 4, colloquy. Now this is the general structure. So every exercise, every meditation or contemplation begins with the preparatory prayer. For Saint Ignatius, this preparatory prayer, which is the same throughout the exercises, is the same. And Saint Ignatius would say that this is not to be changed. Let us listen to what Saint Ignatius says about the preparatory prayer. Saint Ignatius talks about the preparatory prayer in number 46 of the spiritual exercises, which is the starting of the first meditation on the first, second and third sins. In number 46, Saint Ignatius writes, "The preparatory prayer is to ask God our Lord for the grace that all my intentions, actions and operations may be ordered purely to the service and praise of the Divine Majesty." While commenting on this preparatory prayer, translator and commentator of the spiritual exercises, Father George Gans, has this to say: "The preparatory prayer and the preludes, each lasting a minute or so at the beginning of a prayer period, are means of recollecting oneself and performing the prayer in a better reverential manner. Throughout the exercises, Ignatius considers them to be of great importance." So for Ignatius, the preparatory prayer and the preludes prepare one to enter deep into the exercises. They provide the disposition, spiritual disposition that is required. It is not for one's own well-being or spiritual good, but oriented towards the glory of God. That in everything, in the intention, in the actions and operations, one may glorify God. Now in number 49, Saint Ignatius goes on to make this observation, which is very important and crucial. All contemplations or meditations ought to be preceded by this same preparatory prayer, which is never changed, and also by the two preludes, which are sometimes changed in accordance with the subject matter. Now, we could think if Ignatius is very strict about this structure. It is not so. He gives a general structure for the meditation, but within this structure there is a lot of adaptation and flexibility according to the nature of the exercise, about the particular nature of the content of the exercise. However, the preparatory prayer and the preludes play an important role throughout the exercises. We will talk about the importance of the composition of place and what I desire, the grace I seek in different episodes. Father Gans also points out the three aspects of surrendering to God before the exercises: the intentions, actions and the operations. This is what Father Gans says. The intentions, actions and operations, they represent all the physical and mental efforts which are directed towards the end for which I am created. Now, what are the intentions? Intentions are those which direct the will to a particular end. Actions are the exterior activities, and operations are the interior or mental activities. So, at the beginning of the prayer, St. Ignatius is asking God for the grace that everything may be oriented towards the glory of God. St. Ignatius uses a strong word that this preparatory prayer should not be changed. St. Ignatius uses the word ought, saying that it must be kept in every prayer, at the beginning of every prayer, and should never be changed. Thus, we understand how important the preparatory prayer for St. Ignatius is. Commenting about the preparatory prayer, Jesuit Father James Hanvey says this: "It is a stunningly simple but profound prayer. It is the prayer of our whole life, placing us under the sovereignty of God and His kingdom." The preparatory prayer of St. Ignatius in the spiritual exercises can very well become the starting prayer of each day of our life. As we rise up from sleep, while sitting still on the bed, we could close our eyes and for a moment ask God's grace that throughout the day all my intentions, actions and operations may be directed to the glory of God. St. Ignatius of Loyola, pray for us.